Kyle, I got to tell you, I just said yesterday in Clubhouse that I think I've only seen two members have two success calls with us on YouTube. And I saw your name pop up and I was like, I know this name. And I was like, oh no, now Kyle Lewis gets to be a part of this double success call. So good to meet you, but good to see you on here a second time.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I got to meet David the first time, which was awesome. Awesome. Now I get a chance to meet you. I always see you on YouTube, but it's a pleasure finally get a chance to speak to you though.
I know. I'm so excited too. So if I ask you some of the same questions, I apologize. I just want people who I've watched your success call. I've actually taken clips from your success call for other things because it was such a good interview.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Thank you.
and I'm sure this one will be no less just as awesome. But just for
Absolutely. Absolutely.
people that who don't know you, and those who are listening, know that I will link other Kyle's other interview below. Um, but why don't you just start off telling us where you're located and how you got into real estate investing?
Not a problem. Well, I'm located here in Baltimore, Maryland. I've been in real estate for probably about 2 years now. 2020 wasn't a real good year for me at all. I didn't do no deals, unfortunately. But 2019 was the first time I actually got myself into wholesaling. It was with a good friend of mine, Kenny. He kind of introduced me kind of with the signs and stuff like that, with the bandit signs. Introduced me to wholesaling that way. Kind of was just like lost in the whole thing, like what you do with these signs and your phone number and stuff. But after he broke it down to me, it was still kind of like, okay, I kind of get it. But I think I started getting more and more as I started listening to YouTube videos, some of you guys' videos, Brent Daniels, Max Maxwell, who else? Mark Whitten, just a couple of people I can name, so many others. But those are the kind of people I started off with that kind of got me, I guess, the introduction into wholesaling. And then it kind of just took off from there. I started going to networking meetings and stuff like that, networking with other people. This is before COVID. And yeah, this kind of how I got the deal from which you're about to speak on today. Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's just dive in. I'm excited to hear it. Oh, wait, I do have one more question. You
Absolutely.
uh getting into Deal Machine, how did you get introduced to Deal Machine? Was it from Max and like Brent?
No, it was actually through my friend Kenny. When we was doing our driving for dollars, he was like, "Yeah, Kyle, I want to put you on my team and everything." And he was like, "You should download Deal Machine." And I was like, "Deal Machine? What the heck is a Deal Machine?" So he was like, "Yeah, me, you, and another friend of mine." He was trying to do the deal with. He was like, "We all three of us can come together and we can find these houses and put them all under one list, and whoever get the first deal, we can all split it." And I was like, "Okay, sounds pretty interesting." So once he explained it to me and actually broke it down like in my face, like showed me like the houses and what absentee owner mean, owner occupied and corporate owned. Like once he broke all that stuff down to me, it was like, oh, and it was like, dang, Deal Machine does all of that for you. Like, wow, you ain't gotta pay. So it was like, yeah, the first 7 days might be free, but then after that, it's a little fee. I'm like, okay, I'm like, this might be worth it. So from there, that's kind of how my Deal Machine journey got started.
And you're like an OG though. You've seen us go through so many different stages, even
Changes.
just in the last like year. So
Absolutely. So many, but they've been all good changes though. So good though. So good. It's like y'all been actually keeping up and going a little further beyond. So I salute to y'all. Definitely. I salute.
we try, and I'll definitely tell David that I talked to you because he'll want to see how you're doing. But yeah, let's dive into the deal. Tell me from start to finish break it down.
Absolutely. All right. So like I said, this deal started honestly from 2019 when I first got started. I ended up meeting a property manager at a networking meeting. She was, letting me know that she had a few people that she was basically trying to help get rid of their homes. But this one particular home, she was like, Kyle, this one is like crazy. She said it's upside down, inside out. She was like, I don't know if you really gonna want this one. But she was like, Basil, you just getting started. She was like, I would love to throw it at you. So she just went ahead and gave it to me. So when I took it on, it was a lady who had two mortgages. Well, at least we thought had two mortgages at the time. Turned out to be three mortgages. And the first time I tried to sell it, it was a fail. My numbers was all basically all wrong. I had the price up way too high, and the property in that area at that time wasn't pricing out for what I had it at. So that it didn't go through at all. So basically, I ended up just keeping it in my follow up. And truth be told, in the midst of me trying to sell that deal at that time, we became good friends, me and her. So I kind of kept a relationship with her to some degree. But like I said, 2020 was a bad year, so I didn't really speak to her at all. But then when 2021 got around, it was something that clicked on me like, well, I want to check on Miss Vera. Like, let me see how she's doing. And then I remember watching the video from you guys just speaking about the follow-ups and saying like some of your precious keys and your gold could be in the follow-up and not in the beginning ones. And I was like, you know what? That was something that fell out a year ago. Maybe let me just check on her, see if she ever sold it. So I gave her a call and she was like, Kyle, is that you? And I'm like, hey, how you doing, Miss Vera? And she's like, it's crazy. She's like, I never got rid of it. She was like, I'm still dealing with this problem. And she was like, I'm still paying on it. But she said, now we at this particular point. And she was like, if you can help me out in any kind of way, I will love it. So I immediately hopped on it. No questions asked. I was like, oh, sure. Let me know a little more. So, she started down to me. She was like, yeah, I only owe this amount. And it's only, she said she owed, I think it was 50 with her mortgage and no, my fault, 40 with her mortgage and 10 to the city. And basically, if we can do the whole thing for 50, we'd be good to go. So at the time when I was trying to sell, I think I had, like I said, about 70 or 80. And like I said, houses around there at the time wasn't going for that. But at this time now, being as though there's been a lot of renovations and fixing up and stuff like all the properties have gone up. So the house right next door actually sold for like 150 or something like that. So when I spoke to her, she was like, yeah, I only 150 for it. I was like, what? 50K? Not a problem. So being as though, like I said, I had a great relationship with her, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna take 2K out of my cut and let's do the contract for 52 instead of 50, just to put 2K back in your pocket. And, I know you might be going through some hard times and stuff. So, I want to help you out with something, so I looked at it with her. Since she was blessing me by letting me come back aboard with her, I was like, I'm gonna bless you too. So we did the contract for 52. And, I immediately put out there on Facebook for, the whole masses to see, all the groups and everything to see. And I even had a friend of mine, my partner now, he's working with me now. I shopped out there to him too as well. But it really wasn't going nowhere with him. Like all his buyers really wasn't too interested. But I had this one particular guy on Facebook. I hope he's not watching because he can be like, God dang it. But I had this one particular guy on Facebook. He has sent me, well, I guess he was a wholesaler and he had a list of buyers, whatever. So he had sent me one of his buyers to come down to the home. So the buyer came down to the home. It was himself and his wife. And it was a nice Spanish couple, beautiful couple. And when they got into the home, they completely fell in love with it. Like from the moment they first walked into it, like I knew a little bit of Spanish, but I didn't know a lot. So I understood a little bit they were saying, but then after a while, they kind of lost me. But it was like, I understood, like they were saying beautiful and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay, we might got one. I got just thinking that to myself or not. So, just I allowed them to do the tour and everything through the house. And, like I said, they completely loved it. So of course they was like, we'll get back to you in a day or so, let you know what we think. And then I had a couple other people come by and say it, and their offers was actually way, way higher than anybody else's. But it's crazy because I learned a lot with this deal. I never knew about the FHA loan thing and how that works. And I never knew that you can't do an assignable contract if a person has an FHA loan. I never knew nothing about that, but I learned that because I had a buyer who wanted to purchase the home for 80K. And remind you, I got it for 50, but I gave it to 52, and I put it out there for the masses for 65 or best offer. So I really wasn't really trying to get a whole lot, just a little small or something. But I had a guy who come in, he's like, I got 80 right now. I'm ready to go. Let's rock and roll. So I'm like, okay, why not? Let's go. So he turned in his earnest money deposit, which was 25. And like I say, he ended up going through his lender with the whole FHA thing, but he didn't tell me he had the whole lender with the FHA loan and all that. So I didn't know nothing about it. So it took a little while, but once my title company got the chance to speak to him and everything and asked me to the lender, it was like, oh, this is an FHA loan. You can't do an assignable contract with that. So, basically we can't do this deal at all. So I was so happy because the earnest money, he was trying to give me the earnest money to hold. And I was like, no, turn it to the title company. So I'm so happy that I didn't do that, because if I would have held it, who would have known what happened to that money? I mean, I wouldn't have touched it, honestly. But, just to say, if worst came to worst, so something like that, if I would have spent it or something, like anything could have happened. So I'm happy that didn't, go through how I went through. So after that little falling out, the other buyer, the first one who previously liked it, as his wholesaler called me, and he was like, "Yeah, Kyle." Well, he was more so texting me an email. He was like, "Yeah, Kyle, we like the home, and we want to make you an offer. He was like, right now we at 50. And I was like, ooh, 50. Thinking in my mind, like, I can't do 50. That's kind of where I got it at. So, we kind of did the whole negotiation thing back and forth. So he bounced up from 50 to 53 to 55. And I think like at the day or so, he came back at 57. So then I was just like, nah, I'm like, I spoke to my seller. She really can't do it for 57. I'm sorry. Like, we can't do it. So he was like, all right. He was like, well, if anything else come in the pipeline, he was like, I'm still very interested. Any more deals you got? He was like, just send me over something, and I'll be willing and ready to go. So I'm like, all right, no problem, fine. So it's crazy how things work. Ironically, later on that night, I swear probably maybe the day after, the actual buyer who came and seen the home, the lady and the husband, Will and Wendy, they both Wendy had called me and she was like, yeah, Kyle, what's going on with the home? Like, did so and so call you, and did they give you the offer that we sent? And I was like, yeah, they called me, and unfortunately, I'm like, he was only at 55. And I was like, we was at 65. And I'm like, kind of like right there in the middle. I'm like, we can't do nothing. I'm sorry. I would like to do, business with you maybe later on, but your guy can't, he can't go past 55. So he he stopped me right in my tracks and he was like, you know what? Don't let him know this. But he was like, we got 63 right now. He was like, don't let him know, but we ready to go. And I was like, what? Say no more. I docu-signed him the contract right then and there that same night. And yeah, he turned in his earnest money the following day, 2,500 to the title company. And we actually just closed last Friday.
Congratulations.
Yes, indeed.
What a way. Yes. What a way to start 2021.
11K right here. 11K check.
Shoot.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I never made 11K in my life, but that right there, it solidified in me.
And that's all. Bravo to you. That was follow-up. That was a lead that could have just kept sitting there, and you nurtured it. And 11K later. That's so crazy. Now I see why you said you hope that the wholesaler doesn't see this video.
Yeah, because he was like, what? Oh my God. Then he probably gonna call the other buyer like you bought this. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it worked out though, unfortunately. But like I said, it was a good thing because me and that buyer were pretty great friends now, and we're working on some more other deals. And like I said, I actually just closed on another deal actually last Friday on a burnt house. This house was burnt crispy to the core. And I found it driving for dollars, of course, in my neighborhood. But it's crazy because it didn't look crispy to the core in the front, but behind it though was like crispy to the core. So the front.
So what made you add it? Sorry, I don't mean to question interrupt, but like what made you add it if you didn't see the back? Was the front still just like not great?
The front, it had a regular door, but the actual window was nothing but the board, just straight board. But the actual door itself was still regular, but the window was just straight board. And it was just like, but then when you looked up top, everything up top was just fire and board as well too. So I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know. Like it kind of did dawn on me, like I didn't even notice up top, like the blackness, like from the brick. I thought it was actually the paint, but then I really looked, I'm like, no, that's fire damage. It's like, oh my God. So when I ran around back, literally the back looked as still fresh, like fresh off the flame. Like you can still see the gray ashes, still in the kitchen and everything. Like, yeah, it was a total disaster. But it was a blessing because the owner wasn't in the house at the time. She had took her son out, and I think they had went out for dinner or breakfast. She had told me, and that Sunday, she said the wiring in her kitchen had triggered because she was trying to do her house, like I guess fix it up herself. And basically the wires got tricked up some kind of way and it started from the kitchen and just went straight up.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness they were out of there.
Absolutely. So with that particular conversation, I ended up getting her under contract. Originally I wanted to get her for 30. She questioned me about it, like was fighting me about it, telling me how good the neighborhood was and how it was coming up and all this money is about to be in the neighborhood. And like, she was thinking like she was going to get top dollar for it. And I'm like, I would love to get you top dollar, but I'm like right now, I had previous conversation with her. She had told me she had owed 25 on it. So I'm like, well, because you owe 25K on it, I'm like, I'm willing to at least do 30 for you, just to help you in your situation, clear your debt, at least put 5K in your pocket. So she, like I said, she went back and forth with me for a little while, but then she called me back like a week later and was like, can you do 33? I'll be willing to take 33. And I was like, I'm gonna call my team back and I might be able to do something for you. Then within an hour or two, I gave a call back like, yeah, we can do 33. And then just ironic, my partner, he had already called me. It was like, Kyle, if you can get that house under contract, he was like, I already got a buy right now for 37. So I'm like, really? Say no more. So as soon as she said 33, done deal. 4K split between me and him. My first JV deal 2021. So yeah, I'm happy to let you know first before we actually have another interview about that one. I'm happy to let you know first and foremost. So
I did not know this would be a 2-for interview.
a
This is
2-for-1 right there. 2-for-1.
so
Yeah.
what? Together we got 13K going in.
Yeah, in total 13K. Yes, indeed. I should be getting a call on Monday, hopefully for that one. I think it's gonna take about maybe one more week to get the property lien certificate. But once that comes back from the title company, I think we can close.
One question, I think you've literally dropped so many nuggets for people who are just starting out. Like you talked about all the kind of obstacles you have to learn, like the FHA. I had no idea either. So what would you, I will say personally, I've heard every single time the fight that you just had of like, well, this is an up and coming neighborhood. Like I know that my property is going to be worth much or worth more than this, blah, 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 blah. I've had that. I feel like so many people can relate to that. How did you combat that and just like, I guess how did you overcome that?
Well, I guess I kind of learned this from Brent Daniels. He speak about the 4 pillars, and the 4 pillars is the condition of the property, the timeline they want to sell it, their motivation, and their price. So it got to the motivation. Her motivation was because she got a burnt down house, and she kind of like needed to clean up and pick up from that. So she's embarrassed about the fact that she done lived in there about over 17 years and she done put in so much money, and now it's been burnt and down the flames, and the whole neighborhood knows that it's now Miss blah 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 house burnt down, and so it's all that going on. So like she wants to pick back up and start all over and become, I guess, a landlord all over again in the sense. So it's like, let me help you get to that point. Yeah. So her why was a little more stronger in the sense. So I kind of feel I can bypass all the small little things that she was trying to throw at me. And plus, because I live in the neighborhood as well, like I live in East Baltimore. She's in East Baltimore. So I'm very familiar with East Baltimore on this side of town. So when she was throwing out her particular numbers at me, it was just like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but you really are going through this, and I know you need the money for that, which will really help you ultimately for this. So let's forget about the whole neighborhood and the price rising, and let's get you out your situation, and let's help you move forward. Don't worry about the neighborhood, because you can get you another house in the neighborhood and you can build on that one. Let's get rid of this right now off your hands, so you ain't got to worry about paying on that, and you can build from that. So that was more so my mindset on anything else for real. Like, yeah, that just persistent. I was just going to be persistent with her because I knew that she was going through a tough dilemma with this whole fire damage home. Like it was a fresh fire damage home. I knew that she needed help more than anything. So
I love that. And that was your relationship building on top of that to make that equation work. You knew what would make sense.
The relationship was pretty simple. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of like an open book, very transparent. Like I love to help people, and I'm a very much of a people person. So, it's kind of like just in the sense, like you just ask little small questions and they'll start pouring out to you the pain behind it, and like how they feel about it and what's going on and stuff like that. Sometimes you just ask one little small question, you just be quiet and, you just give them that, I understand. Yes, go on, keep on going. Like, I want to hear more. Like, really, like my cousin just had the same problem. Like, just relatable things and stuff like that, just letting them know, like, you're not the only person that's been through the situation before. Like, it's other people have been through this situation as well. And, we can go past it. We can, push through this, like this not it. So just hearing her pain and her voice with this whole house and the fire, I guess I can just relate more so. And I really just wanted to help her. Like, I really wanted to help her. Like I said, she was an elderly lady, more like around her late 60s. So yeah, if she was trying to tell me she was going to get a contractor and pay like 25 to get it fixed up. And I was like, ain't no contractor coming in here fixing up this burnt up property for no 25K. Like, who are you fooling, miss? Like, I understand you trying to do your negotiation, but now from which I could see, she really honestly needed the help, and I just wanted to really help her. So I was just more so I was letting her know more than anything, like, I'm not trying to steal nothing from you. I'm really just trying to help you. And like, what can I do to help you in this situation, and to make this burden less of an issue for you? Like, that was just more so my thing, my concern with her. And like, I portrayed that onto her more so than anything. So I think once she caught on to that, she was just like more so open with me. Just like, I know, Kyle, you not, come to steal, no, you come to help me. So
Right.
after kind of breaking down that wall, it was a little more easier and stuff like that. Cause she, like I said, she was a tough cookie, because my partner tried to talk to her and she just straight shunned him away. Like, nope, I don't want to talk to you. She's like, I'm talking to Kyle. And just straight walked to me. I was just like, in my mind, like, damn. But I didn't say nothing like that. But I was just thinking about it, like, damn. But yeah, but it was just small talk, just real small talk. Just letting her know, yeah, just kind of letting her know she got a friend by her side, just, I wasn't I guess a hungry investor. I was more a friend at the time that she needed. So I
She
think
knew
that.
that. I mean, anyone who's just like, I've watched your video, but anyone who's watching this can tell, like, you're there to help them, and that's like what they like. You could have taken them for less than what they had, but you wanted to give them that cushion, which shows your heart, and that's beautiful. And I'm so thankful that you're in this part of our
Because
family.
I
And
truly learned with Brent Daniels, this is like what do you say? It's like a what do you call it? Like a pool in abundance. I forgot the book that he used that he speak on. Dang, it was on
are
tip of my.
you, so that actually leads to one of my questions is, how do you reach out? Are you cold calling then?
Absolutely.
Okay. I figured you say Brent
Absolutely.
Daniels, you dropping that TTP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, I mean, I'm from the bottom. Anybody, I'm from the bottom. I had no money, no nothing. So yeah, I had my other phone, not this phone, but I got another phone. Had my other phone, and I was just making phone calls. I was on the computer.
I love it. One more question
No,
was,
many more questions, many more. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
like, so many people watch these, and I like know what questions people ask a lot. What my question is, you have how many partners? You've
Just
one?
just one. Yeah, just one.
Okay. How I guess people get really concerned when they go into partnerships, especially if it's like friendships or anything. And I've asked this a couple times to different people, but one, how did you meet your partner? And two, how do you make that work so that there's like no tug and
Hmm.
pull or butting heads?
Great question. Well, we met as children, long time ago as children. So we've known each other for a while. Like I said, he was the one who introduced me to the real estate wholesaling thing.
Oh, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny. Yeah, he introduced me, and he was, like I said, he was doing his own thing. So when I decided to jump into it, I figured like I wasn't going to be a burden on him and just keep on always calling him, asking him a bunch of questions, and just I figured like I really would hit the ground running and just do it on my own. So yeah, basically went to Kenny. Kenny already was doing his thing, so he had his own list of buyers, and I eventually built up my own list of buyers. So how we end up connecting was he ended up having some deals, and some of his deals, if they fall out, he'll give me a call like, "Hey, Kyle, I can't seem to get rid of this one." He was like, see if any of your buyers might be interested, and if they are, I'll be like, "Hey, some of my buyers are interested," and then we'll just go through the numbers and be like, "Hey, my buyer interested at this, we can split that." Walk away, just like that. And we've been doing that. Like I said, we about to actually do it for the first time, but we figured that's how we're going to, basically start doing our deals and everything. So I'm all open for it. It's an abundance of wealth out here, man. Like I'm open to sharing, man. Like I'm not a greedy guy. Like I'm all for it. Like let's do it. Let's team
Amen.
up. Let's do it.
I do want to ask you, so 2020 was like, you took some time off, you didn't do any deals that time. 2021, what you've started off so strong, like, do you have like a vision for what, sorry, my dog, 2021 looks like for you and Kenny?
Wow. So far, I mean, me and Kenny, I mean, like he's booming, honestly. Like he's booming. He already has his own little set of cold callers from America. He even got some people from off of Facebook that like he didn't got his own little team going. So like my thing is kind of the catching up with him and get my pipeline rolling like him, because I mainly use PropStream to, I guess, find most of my deals. If I'm not driving for dollars, I normally use PropStream. So in between the two, um, that's just kind of how I'm building my lead pipeline up. But like I said, if I can get mines like him and we can continue to tag along, man, I'm open for it. Like my goal is to try to be a millionaire before 40. I'm trying to definitely quit my job and say goodbye to
Yes.
the job and be 100% full time in the real estate. So That's the goal. He's already doing it. Actually, he already done quit the job, and he already done told me, he's like, Kyle, go ahead and jump out there. He's like, that's the best way to do it. You're gonna have to jump out there and just and go hard. And it's like, yeah, I understand, but in my mind, it's like, let me get the cushion first, a couple of months of saving of some income, and then maybe I might decide to jump out there. But he done already doing it. I mean, like, he's really succeeding so far. Like, I really commend him, but I'm still just a little nervous about jumping out there with the job thing. Just yeah. Like, I want to get at least about 6 or 7 more deals in my pipeline. Build up my accounts and really get a strong team like him. Like, maybe start getting some cold callers from what's that? Some of them cold calling sites. I forgot the name of them, but get some cold callers and stuff like that, and just build like that. Like, I want to do that as well, but I know it's going to cost money, of course. So. My main thing is maybe just get a couple more deals under my belt, so then I can use them funds to put into the business and let it build from there.
I totally get where Kenny's coming from, but I'm 100% more your strategy. And I've heard both sides when people have said that, where it's just, but I've heard more than not, don't just like quit your other job and just dive in. I think you're doing it the way that's like, you're going to be comfortable. You're not like halting any of your activity. You're just like making sure you are stable when you do that. And I think that that's
100%.
totally reasonable.
100%. Like, I got 2 kids to worry about. My son.
Oh, then definitely. Yes.
He's actually in the business. I'm trying to teach my son how to do the business. So I got my son. I'm teaching him how to do it, but I also got a little daughter too. So it's just mainly I want to make sure I'm solid for both of them before I really go wholeheartedly quitting the job and going all in. Like, I want to make sure I know for a fact I got something solid behind me before I go all in.
How old are your son and daughter?
Believe it or not, my son, he is 19 and my daughter is 5.
Oh my gosh, how cute. Well, I know you already have a hat, but would your son want a hat?
Absolutely, why not? I mean, but then again, he got dreads, so I don't know how that would work with it.
Does he want a shirt? Can I get him a shirt?
Shirt would work. Yep, a nice medium shirt would be awesome.
I'll get you a shirt too.
Large for me. I'm a good large. Yeah.
Okay. I will actually send you, we have a swag shop now, so I'll just send you a link and you can just put them in the cart and it'll comp them out.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Well, we try to be a little bit more tech savvy.
Blessing. Thank you. I love it. I still got my old DealMachine hat. It's a little ragged, but I still got my old DealMachine hat.
You want a new one? I can send you a new one too.
You want to see the old one?
Yes, because it's in the original video David did with you, and that was.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah.
Well, look at this. You go.
Let's just keep it there because it's so old. I don't want to pull it out on you. It's so old.
Okay, well, I'll get you a new hat too. So you can get two shirts and a hat. I'll make sure that.
What a blessing. Thank you. Yes. I'm really be out here looking like a true DealMachine when I go to these auctions.
That's right.
Buyers. Yes, indeed. And I got a couple auctions I'm going to this week, so I can't wait.
Well, and I'll also send you the raw footage of this if you want to use it for anything. You're more than welcome to. But we definitely, I swear it's like always in my head because it was in one of our videos and it was a really powerful moment when you had your DealMachine hat on. You're like, wait, you go, hold on a second. And you take a big deep breath and you go and you get your hat and you're like, oh, my.
Yeah.
You did that in your video and you were like, and look at this check right here, this check.
Yeah, that was the first one right there. That was the one that really made me a believer right there. That was it. That was it right there. That was the one.
I can't wait to tell David that we talked today. I'll definitely tell him.
Yes. I can't wait till I can finally meet up with you guys in person, man, when all this COVID stuff is over with and we can.
You're telling me. I can't. I'm excited for us to just do conferences again because I miss talking to people, and honestly we're all virtual right now, so like
right
even the people we work with, we went from a team when David first talked to you, we were a team of 15 I think, and now we're a team of 40.
Wow.
I know.
What the big change. Jeez.
I know.
But it's all virtual though, all 40.
We have an office here and some of us come in, but a lot of them, I still haven't even met half of the people like in person.
Wow, that's crazy though. All because of COVID, man. Just separating everybody. It sucks, man. It
I
sucks.
know, but here's hoping that by at least like mid end of year we'll be able to at least do some meetups or something, because that's
I
what
would love that, man. I can't wait to just do meetups again, just so I can network again, because that's where you get the most bang for your buck at. I swear, the meetups, boy, you just be surprised what you might come across in the meetups for real. You just never know. Right.
Amen.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. It was so good to see you.
It was a pleasure seeing you as well. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And
And
like
if
I
you
said, I'd
need,
love to do more interviews so I can and hopefully inspire somebody, man. Like just go out there and take action. Just take action.
well, you have a great rest of your day. Okay. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. You have a good one too. And thank you again.
You're welcome. Bye,
More
Kyle.
blessings. Take care now.